Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Y'all, we have breaking news information related to these text messages in the Lilly and Jack Sullivan case. As the silence becomes deafening, we do have some perspective. Lilly and Jack Sullivan allegedly disappeared on May 2nd by their mother, who reported them around 10 a.m., allegedly. Their mother, Malehya, reported them missing, stating that they exited out this sliding glass door, and after exiting through the sliding glass door, decided to play in their backyard. Further stating that when they exited the backyard, they must have wandered off into the woods and got lost. However, Malehya, their mother, believes somebody had abducted the children and was calling for an Amber Alert, but the RCMP stated there was no proof or evidence that these children were abducted, and they made that statement very early on in the case. The RCMP put together one of the largest searches for Lilly and Jack Sullivan and produced no results. But when they went missing, Malehya was explaining a lot through text messages and Messenger. One of those message threads were from Lilly and Jack's biological grandmother. Belinda, Cody's mother, reached out to Malehya to find out what happened to the children. And Malehya, from the very beginning, was driving this narrative that they were abducted. Belinda is Cody's mother, and Cody is the biological father to Lilly and Jack Sullivan. And she released some of the text messages she initially had the very first day she found out Lilly and Jack were missing. I found some of the statements between them very alarming and very manipulative. She was on one hand trying to say the kids got out of the house. On the other hand, she was trying to say that they were abducted. There's no telling what Malehya was conveying to the family that morning that she says the children disappeared. But I am really looking at Daniel and Malehya's behavior, and both of their behaviors are screaming some type of foul play to me. I don't believe them, and I don't trust them. And I'm starting to believe Daniel just a little bit more. But then I start hearing from people that I value their opinion. I start reviewing people like the deception detective, which I value the opinion of this deception detective quite highly. If you don't know who he is, he's an attorney trained in statement analysis. He has never liked the statements from Daniel nor Malehya and what he equates to deception. And the deception detective, on the latest statement from Daniel Martell, he's saying this is next to blackmail, emotional blackmail. He's trying to say that the mother is failing to show up or even speak out for her children, and us, the public, needs to quit being mean to her and attacking her. I don't think discussing this case and the public's opinion of Malehya is going to change because Daniel says so. Where are Lilly and Jack? And what does Daniel and Malehya truly know about their disappearance? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Bullhorn Betty channels, and let me know your thoughts about this. This case is driving me bonkers. Well, good afternoon, folks. Good afternoon. As you guys can see when my hands moved, I am back at the office. I got registered. I got checked in. I went down Media Row. I got some videos, and everything is really going to be kicking off tomorrow. So I thought I'd come back here. I left a couple books that I needed to have with me tomorrow. And so I came back to get those. I figured we'd go ahead and go live with you folks and give you guys an actual show today since I had to come back to the house. So it is nice to see you. Hope Floats, Outer Banks, Dawn, it's nice to see you. Rena, hopefully I'm saying that right. Melanie, it's nice to see you. Panda Bear's mom, Phil, Danielle, Janice. Oops, hold on a second. I'm about to mute myself. I got somebody I'll be right back. sorry about that through roll call. I had one of my people that are meeting me up there has decided. I just got back and they decided they're ready to go up there to do the evening stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I'll catch it tomorrow. Just started the live, so it is what it is. So it's nice to see you, Janice, YouTuber, Kathleen, D Real, Melanie, Brenda. It's nice to see you, the real me too. Cinda, good evening or afternoon. It's almost evening. It's me, Jen, up in the house. It's nice to see you. Linda, hello. Melanie, Dawn. Who else do I have? West Virginia Holler Girl. It's nice to see ya. Good afternoon. Stephanie, Phil, Al, Henry. I think it could go both ways this day and age. AI Henry or Al Henry. Do. No, I'm just joking. Panda Bear's mom, it's nice to see you. Amy, hello. Susanna, it's nice to see you. Good evening, Laura. Who else do we have? TD Dean up in the house. Mitty, it's nice to see you. Good afternoon. Shirley H. Donna, it's nice to see you. Hello, Skits. Eric with an H, it's nice to see you. Unicorn, Indiana, good afternoon. Pam Chow, it's nice to see you. Hello. Justice Jane, it's nice to see you, my love. We've got something that's going to kind of make you scratch your head because I'm starting to think some type of way. You know, when I start going on trips, even if it's just an hour drive over the bridge in my own area, right? I get in that car and it's like the motor just starts going clunk, 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 while my motor is going clunk, 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 right? So my brain's thinking, and of course I'm processing a lot because I don't want to be in my head. I don't want to think about my life. So I think about everybody else's, And so when I'm out there and I'm driving, I'm trying to piece all this stuff together. How does this work? What's going on? We're just talking about this pink blanket. We're hearing some of the people that are on each side of the family kind of, tell their own version of what happened to try to keep the heat off the parents here, either Daniel or Malehya. And at the end of the day, when we're dealing with this situation, it's coming down to Daniel and Malehya. Okay? They're not talking about third parties here. They're not talking about children walking off here. They're talking about stuff that's going on with Daniel and Malehya. Not one, not the other. So I'm starting to get an idea of what could have happened. One of the theories is starting to develop well. Okay? Now, the theory that's being developed is not looking to swell, okay? It's not looking to swell. We've got, let me go over here. We've got over 200 people in chat, so I kind of stopped there. Hello, I'll say hi to you guys as we go. Stephanie, praying for all the missing children. Thank you so much. Melanie, happy Friday. Betty, oh, good gracious, it's Friday. Delilah, mods, and chat, all you guys are the best. Much love to you, Betty. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So we've been talking about this pink blanket, and we're talking about this thing going back and forth over this pink blanket. Normally, a pink blanket, fibers of the pink blanket, honestly, I don't know if I would have given it 2 iotas. The pink boot, I paid attention to. The pink blanket, so much so I haven't. I haven't paid attention to the pink blanket. The pink blanket, I've got an article here talking about the pink blanket, and this article came out, and this was one of the most recent ones related to the pink blanket, and it was updated on June 20th. So a little more recent, but we know the pink blanket was found in those first few days. We also know that there was a pink boot under the couch. One lone pink boot, which I have always focused on because Lily was said to have left with pink boots. Did she leave with just one? Is that why there's only one out there in the print in the on the ground? And then you got that piece of fabric all the way away. There is no way a blanket that's inside a closed garbage can is going to fly a mile down the road. Okay? It is virtually impossible. The probability of that happening is like 0.000000000000001% chance. And maybe there might have been another million of zeros before that. I'm not sure. But now I'm starting to process this. Okay, we have a mom and a stepfather that didn't really leave very much. Okay, we hear Malehya leaves at night for some reason. We think that she's either stripping or dealing or something. I don't know what she was doing, but everybody says that she is a stay-at-home mom. I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with that. There is some type of effery going on in that house. There is no probability of 4 adults and 3 children being in on a property with nobody working except one guy 1 time a week. It is not enough money to support that family. How are they being supported? They've been together for 2 years. How are they being supported? Something is not right. But the bottom line is they're not leaving that area. Even New Glasgow, where they were seen on May 1st, was only 20 minutes away. Okay? They're going into town. Is it an inconvenient ride? I'm sure it is. Is it a boring ride? I'm sure it is. But it's only 20 minutes away. Okay? So it's not like it's over in another continent. So they haven't ventured too far from home, is my point. They haven't ventured too far from home at all in the days leading up to the children disappearing. So that means those children are in that area. Now, it's time to play a game. And this is the game I played with myself on the way up to Tampa. And it was very, very enlightening. So if they are in this general area, and we'll take that general area all the way up to New Glasgow, 20 minutes away, quite a large area to cover, no doubt, quite a lot of area to cover, probably 20, 30 miles or more. Okay? However, the children were last seen in town on the afternoon of May 1st. I heard it was around 3 o'clock in the afternoon when they were observed on footage. 3:17 to be exact. And they went home. It is my belief. Let's play this through with what we know. Let's even go back to Sebastian Rogers' case. What happened to him? Things happened in the middle of the night. Things happened in the middle of the night. Malehya was seen on the outside of her house at 6:18 in the morning. Daniel Martell and Malehya Brooks-Murray are both, in my opinion, substance abuse addicts. And here's the kicker. I don't know how they lost their life. I don't know if it was substances that they had in the home, if it was just negligence from both of the parents and they got injured real bad, if it was due to violence, asphyxiation, or other forms of homicide. I don't know. I don't know what caused the kids to lose their life. But I believe they lost their life, and both Daniel and Malehya were freaking out. Daniel ended up going nuts and having to be fueled with substances. And Malehya went into this detachment, full detachment phase in a matter of 24 hours. And now, since then, they've both been fighting between each other. And that's what's leading me to believe that it's more of an accident than an outright homicide. It was more probably that somebody had suffered an accident or an accidental OD. Because I feel like this was not expected, but this is what they have. Or it could absolutely be Malehya got up. She's not right upstairs. She has fully detached from her kids after having Meadow. She's drug addicted. She's miserable because she has all this depression. And you could see a lot of her this stuff developing at younger ages, because I'm watching her at younger ages talking on YouTube because she's at home, she's bored, and she's talking into a screen that but she doesn't think anybody's watching. And she's kind of telling stuff about herself. And you can see even way back then, even when she was a teenager, she was very depressed. She seems like she had a lot of stuff going on, maybe anxiety and other things that her mom didn't take and get Betty, read chat. What? People should be sorry. I'm MIA dealing with a lot of things. Okay. I don't know what this is. Thank you so much for support. Is this Heather Lane? Read the support. I don't know. I wish you guys wouldn't just put Betty, read chat. Be a little more What chat? What chat? What am I missing? What am I missing here? Can you explain what Outer Banks? Which one am I supposed to read? Am I missing something? Coming from a recovering addict. I agree, BHB. So I can't get over the grandmother would not let RC pee in her camper because her dog gets nervous. I don't think people have, it doesn't matter. If they wanted to get into there, they could get in there. I know I got a headache, blame it on this weather. Let me see. Outer Banks responded. I'm reading chat. So Outer Banks said, read chat. I read chat. I don't know what she's trying to. You don't have to pay, just write what you needed me to look at. Read Michelle Nunley's post. Okay, thank you. Michelle. Michelle. It's on TikTok. Okay, that's one. This is so far up there. Not sure, but the dog hit on something and in close reaction center incessant. Oh, Michelle, yeah, you did the same thing I did. No, that's not true. That's not true. So what had happened, and I did the same thing, and I ended up calling Seth, calling him and checking on him. But no, that's not true. What had happened is some third party went and grabbed Justin's comments, Justin on TikTok, grabbed Justin on TikTok's comments from last year when they were out at that rock campground or whatever, where they ended up going on to federal land. They found something. There was a dog hit. They called people in. They were made to get off. They were out there with the Cajun Navy. That somebody slapped on 7/11/2025 and took Justin's year-old video and is now passing it around again as if it happened today. It did not happen today. That was over a year ago. I fell for the same thing. Don't worry, Michelle. You weren't the only one. I actually, I'm sure Seth probably wishes I didn't, but I actually have the man's number. And I called him because I was freaking out and I thought this happened today and I wanted to make sure he was okay. So I hear the same thing you did. I panic. And so I call Seth. Well, if you know anything about Seth has not been sleeping very well. Okay? He hasn't been sleeping well at all, as you guys can probably imagine. So when usually I'm, anybody that wants to call is supposed to text just to make sure, if he's up or, because there's just stuff going on. And I woke him up. That man's not getting any damn sleep. And I felt so bad because I woke him up. I didn't text. I saw it. I didn't even listen to it. I heard that they're at there and they found something. I just stopped immediately and called Seth. And he's like, huh? What? I said, they said you're out there. Are you out? Is everything okay? I said, I don't really care. I just want to make sure you're okay. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, well, I just got this, that they found something at this thing and kicked all the searchers out, and it looks like it might be something, and that you just got on the scene. And he goes, no. I'm like, okay. Well, I said, I just wanted to check on you, my friend. Make sure you're okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare the shit out of you. I guess it's nothing. Have a great day. Have a great day. You know, I feel so bad because you guys don't understand. Seth is, maybe I shouldn't get into his personal business, but he's not sleeping. Okay? He's not sleeping well. And I think we all should pray for him. Pray for him to get a decent night's sleep. You know, just to get a decent night's sleep. I feel so bad for him. So anyways, in this article, I started reading this. I wanted to find out a little more about Lilly and Jack. And so that's what inspired the thumbnail, is because we have to look at this. And you know how I am. I try to process. I look at all the avenues. And we all have to admit that these children most likely did not wander off alone and by themselves. Okay, something happened. We've looked at statistics. The statistics of two children disappearing at the same time, two siblings disappearing at the same time, this age is almost unheard of. Okay, so it's already an outlier. So we're already having to pay close attention to this because it's not matching logic. Okay, it's this case is outside of logical realms, and so that has to be the first key, because logic, what we're learning is not logical. So now we need to make it logical. We've got Daniel Martell as well as Malehya acting weird. We know that the children were seen in the afternoon to the evening hours on May 1st out with their parents in New Glasgow, some 20-some minutes away from their home. So at some point, they had to come back home. Okay. And what did they do at home that evening? So far, our timeline, out of all these people that have this family, a connect tie to this family, we still don't even have a good or historical timeline on the movements of Malehya or Daniel. This is crucial. And we have one TikToker that seems to know all these people. Why can't they get us a good timeline on what happened when they went home on May 1st? Why aren't they asking? Like, they're too busy having this pissing contest. It's very disturbing. I'd like facts and information. If you're going to have these people on your show, I'm not here for the blessed drama. We got children missing. I'm here for whatever they say their facts are. I don't even care if they're verifiable at this point. I just want to hear them. I'll verify whether they're true or not. Okay? I don't need that. I just need to hear them. And so right now we're not hearing the basic information that any content creator that is here for true crime and here for finding out information about these cases, when you have somebody up on your panel, get a history. Go back. You got them there. Why not just ask? Well, you know, she had Haley on there for a little bit. Well, where were they? We know that they were on camera in New Glasgow. Did they tell you what they did? Where were they? You know, what did they did? What time did they come home? Did they go out to dinner? Did they have dinner when they came home? You know, what happened that evening? Because you know me, I always believe, especially in a situation like this, something happened before this. This did not just, in my opinion, happen that morning. So now we have to go to the evening before. The last proof of life was in the afternoon around 3:17 on May 1st. So from 3:17 to 10 a.m. when they were called in, that's our window. Okay? It's not 8 to 10. Our window is actually from the time they were spotted on that proof of life video to when she called them in missing. That is our window we must fill. That is our window. That's the timeline that needs to be plugged in. Where were they from that point? When they left the store, did they go home or did they go somewhere else? When they left there, did they go to someplace else or go home? How long were they in New Glasgow? Those are basic questions. Anybody in true crime, when you have a person up on your panel to interview, those are basic questions to be asking these folks. And nobody's asking the basic questions. They're they're all over the place with the story. And when you have content creators that are all over the place with the story, it causes inconsistency and causes to have misplaced information. So that's kind of where we are right now. Why do I believe it is possible that these children are buried? Because I'm starting to believe that these children didn't disappear that morning, but actually late evening the day before. And I think whatever happened, Malehya, or even early morning hours, like around 1, 2, 3 o'clock, when the druggies and party animals are out, is when I believe something happened. How do we know that they weren't playing out in the yard and they went to go buy, substances and accidentally ran the kids over? I mean, I would think that there would be evidence in the yard of something like that, what law enforcement would have been able to see, but if not, definitely the dogs. So I don't presume something like that happened, but something happened. And I don't think that they had, obviously Malehya wasn't in her bed like she had told us, right? Because there's enough evidence and corroboration that she was outside of the house making the call to the school. She wasn't making that call into the school from her bedroom. She was out either the back. I'm a little confused on whether she was out the back door or the front door, but I believe they said that they saw her coming in the front door at 6:15, and she was on the phone with the school at 6:18. So that's what leads me to believe that Malehya is more involved in whatever happened than, say, Daniel. But now we have Haley saying how Daniel's behavior is hiding in the bathroom doing substances. Well, when shit hit the fan, who knows? That's probably what he was doing, making Malehya deal with everything. Because it seemed like when her family was there, he couldn't even control himself long enough to allow them to leave before he satisfied his urges and needs. That's a little concerning that he would do that inside the home. And they obviously did have a disturbance because they were all kicked off the property. And we also heard that everybody that got kicked off the property was after Malehya. So they found, it sounds like when they thought something weird was going on inside that home and Daniel came out of the bathroom, somebody probably went in there and searched the bathroom and found the stash of contraband. Maybe not, but she says that's when they found the substances. So that tells me that he was hiding the substances in the bathroom. How do we know those children didn't get into the bathroom and into those substances? How is the bathroom thing? I've watched the whole. Let's listen. I've got it all here. Who debunked it? Who debunked it? The bathroom thing was debunked. I have not. Who debunked it? There was only several people in that house, and I heard Logan as well as Cheryl arguing about that whole situation that transpired. And it sounds like there's no dispute on the substances. When did she say she lied? Can you send that to me? Has anybody else heard that? Where did that come from? I mean, I don't doubt you. I know you're more up to stuff than I am. I've been gone all day. But this is the first I heard of it. Where did you hear that? Because from my understanding, she hasn't been back on. She did retract her statement. Shauna says she did retract her statement. She said she didn't say that it. Hold on. She did retract her statements and said she didn't say that we twisted her words. No, I heard it. She said meth. I mean, I've got it recorded. I actually I downloaded it so I wouldn't mistaken one iota. And as a matter of fact, with me, I usually put their actual words into the video, and there's no misunderstanding what her words are. Is she just getting a lot of heat and now she's backtracking because she doesn't want the heat? It's affecting her home life, and it's just easier just to, I mean, I don't see her as a liar. When she was too, And for her to say her sister admitted that he was doing it for 2 years. Okay, hold on. What the Real Me See says, this was days ago. Let me see where I can find it. Justin saw it too and was on his channel. She apologized. Then what would be the purpose of lying about something like that? Because I don't think she was lying. For whatever reason, I think she probably said something that her family said, this is really bad. You shouldn't have said that. And she's trying to backtrack her statements because we all know that there's no way in hell. There's no way if you listen to her statement, I'm sorry. We need, you know what? This is a good one for the deception detective. This is a good one for the deception detective because this is kind of the opposite. This is kind of the opposite of what we deal with. This is where somebody made what I believe was a truthful statement and is now recanting that statement. And I think it's from pressure because one thing I have noticed is that like Mackenzie and Logan are team Daniel Martell, Haley, as well as Cheryl are team Malehya. So Logan and Cheryl were on a panel together, and you could tell that they were not happy with one another, but they did have a respectable disagreement. Okay, they weren't calling each other B's and H's or B's and I guess it's the short version's an H. You know what I'm saying? They were being respectful to one another, but they were contentious about this blanket and the positioning of it. One was saying it was on the rail. The other one was saying it's in the garbage can, but the records from law enforcement says it was in the garbage can. So who picked it up? If it was on the rail, who picked it up and put it in the garbage can? And why is Daniel walking up to the garbage can with a witness and his recorder running to prove, that when people go do stuff like that, it makes me believe they already knew that was in there. And the only reason why they were trying to do all that is to prove something that they are trying to disprove. You know what I'm saying? It seems it's all set up to me. Everything that all Daniel's behavior is odd. All Malehya's behavior is odd. Her family is something else. I've got to be, both sides of the family is something else. You know, it should not even be Team Malehya or Team Daniel. It should be Team Lilly and Jack. But these two Yahoo families have not figured that out yet. And they're too busy covering there's children here. Like, if you think you're going to cover adult asses over children, you've got the wrong one. And I'm talking to Cheryl. I'm talking to Logan, Mackenzie. I'm talking to all you. These are children. I could give two craps about Malehya or Daniel. Okay? If we never saw them again, I wouldn't lose any sleep, but I'd like to see where these kids are, and I'd like to bring them home. And when you have families that are more concerned about the adults that are living and breathing and trying to point the finger at each other, why can't you guys just come together and say both of them are responsible? Because that's the truth. Both of them are responsible for what's going on with these kids. Yeah, we haven't found the kids yet. But when you got two people pointing the fingers so much like they are doing right now, we know something is going on here. This is not my first rodeo. It's not my audience's first rodeo, and we can smell stink a mile away. So I believe there's a reason why Haley changed her statement, because I believed her. And so I think this is a good one for the deception detective. I'd like to find out, is she lying then? Or is she lying now? Is she lying then? Or is she lying now? And I just want to let you know, Haley, when push comes to shove because of this, you've already damaged the prosecution of this case because of your gums. Because now, you being a witness to some information that you heard from those days when law enforcement needs to call you to the stand, the defense, whether it's your half-sister or not, or it's Daniel, they're going to say exactly what I'm saying. Are you lying then, or are you lying now? And you're going to be impeached as a witness. You're doing yourself a disservice. And we always find out the truth. We're always in front of the law enforcement with the truth. I'm sorry, they have to move at a snail's pace because they're required to do a lot more than we're required to do. We're not required to prove beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. This is public court system here. And what goes on in a regular court system, we don't play by the same rules. We don't play by the same rules. That's it. I think they both are. Now, if they were still on the realm of an abduction, then I would start believing, if they were both on the same page with this abduction, I would start believing that because law enforcement dismissed it so early on in the case that maybe they're not believing the parents, and maybe they should. Maybe they need to go down this. Maybe we would have been advocating if both of the parents were in front of the camera crying. Public court of opinion. Amen to that. But if they were in front of all of us crying, right? And saying these law enforcement people, they're just not listening. They're judging us on where we live. They're not listening to us. Our children were abducted. If they were on the same realm as that, both of them, if they were both there side by side and said that stuff and was saying that stuff to us over and over again, would this be happening the way it is? Of course not. We would rally behind the mom and the dad that's getting the shaft by their law enforcement. You know? But that's not the case. The abduction went poof, gone, and now they're pointing the finger at one another. So that tells me we're on the right track. It's one or the other. These children are dead by either both parents or one or the other. But at the end of the day, somebody moved these children. These children were not deceased inside their home. These children have been moved. One, who moved them? Was it Malehya or was it Daniel? And when did they move them? Because if it was the night before, I truly believe they would have had time to bury them. If there's lakes or streams, something deep within a 20-mile radius, those need to be all checked. Because it's one or the other. I don't see them throwing them just on top of the ground. And since it's already been so long and nothing has surfaced, I'm not sure if they would be in a waterway or on a lake. Because I feel like even if they were attached to something, as they broke down, things would come up. I know it's hard because he's such a water, but see, that's the difference. That's the difference in who would have moved them. Now, if we can ascertain that it was Daniel that could have moved them, then yeah, it'd be water. But if it's Malehya that moved them, then it's probably land. Daniel was running around like a chicken with his head cut off that first day. Everything she said described how Daniel's behavior was that day, but she's lying about him being in the bathroom doing substances and the sister-in-law finding the substances. That's all a lie? I don't know. I think she's being pressured to change her story. Just my opinion. Because she was just so matter of fact. It didn't seem, if you go back and listen to her interview, let me know where you feel she started being deceptive. Because to me, when I listened to it, despite how I did not like hearing some of the things she said, I still believe she was absolutely honest. She was just a matter of fact. And when she got done saying her matter of fact, she got off the phone. She wasn't looking for 15 minutes of fame. And then days later, after she got a little heat and probably yelled at, because I'm on here screaming that Malehya's on drugs because of that. We're having conversations. Well, now if they just say she just lied, maybe it'll make it all better. It's not, because I believed her. So maybe one of you guys, if you guys have a direct connect to the deception detective, I'm actually interested in how he feels about this Haley chick. He's statement analysis. He doesn't need to see the person's body language. We are not going to see her body language. We only have her visual, voice. So maybe if you guys can find that, I've got a copy of it somewhere of her interview on that. I think it's on Canadian Crime Time or on I think it's Canadian Crime Time is where I saw that. If Canadian's in the chat, she'll be able to say one way or another. I'll find the link, and maybe tomorrow well, let me just find the link now. I'm pretty sure it's on Canadian True Crime. Hold on. Because I think she got the clips from Susan's TikTok. Like somebody has been watching Susan's TikTok, and they started screen recording. So they were able to catch what was said, but they didn't have the video up. They only had like this history. If I can get you guys to hear it, that would be kind of cool. Oh, and it was very interesting. There's a small channel called Creeps and Crimes. Never heard of them before. Creeps and Crimes. I think they have something like 1,000 or 2,000 content, like subscribers. So it's a fairly small channel, and they actually covered Lester Isbell's case, which is surprising. Nobody was really covering it. That's that innocent grandfather that we covered, where he was taken into custody after having a medical event, and they took him to jail instead of the hospital, and he lost his life. They strapped him to a chair, put a spit bag over his head, and never came back for him. And then when they finally did come back to him, he was dead. Oh, sorry. No, it's Sinatra. Sinatra Speaks is where half-sister sets the record straight. Let's listen to this. Let's get this up. I want you guys to hear it. Yeah, it's let me play this so you guys can all hear it. And now I just want to let you guys know, because the Real Me Too is saying that she has now backtracked this. And the reason why I am playing it for you is because I want you to tell me if you feel like she's being deceptive when she's making these statements. I might be off. Okay, folks? I very well might be off here. And I just might, maybe she is being deceptive, and maybe I'm just losing my, losing my skill. It happens. So everybody has an off day. I'm normal. I'm a human being. I make mistakes regularly, but my mistakes are seen publicly. Okay, come on. Let's get this moving.
Watch. It has to be a piece that Logan and whoever else.
What in the world is going on?
Right. Lilly and Jack are my niece and nephew.
Sorry, I can't stand this. When my system starts lagging, it starts driving me nuts. And so this is lagging because of all the crap I got up from Sebastian's case. So let me get this. So here's the sister right here.
Welcome, Haley.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Yeah, so just touching on the subject of the blanket. I've kept pretty quiet.
So, guys, I want you guys to listen to how she talks. I know she kind of has like but either way, I just want you guys to listen and tell me if you guys hear her being deceptive or, going off a script or something, because I'm not hearing that. She seems pretty truthful.
I have a son of my own right. Lilly and Jack are my niece and nephew. But yeah, the subject of the blanket, it was found on a tree branch on Lansdowne Station Road in the evening of day one.
Okay. And you're going to see, because she's going to start saying how peculiar or mysterious it is about being there. because, and you're going to hear her story. So this is my first inclination that something on the ground there, people just felt off about the placement of this pink blanket in the tree.
It was used, or the other part of the blanket was used for a window or a door at the home, and it was thrown out. And this one just ended up on a tree, I guess. But yeah.
Interesting. And so you guys, I understand one of you took a photograph of the blanket and took it back to Malehya for identification?
Yes, Hayden and I did. Yeah.
Okay. And then she said, yeah, it is. And so you called the police, who went and, I guess, collected it?
Yeah, no, the police were already down searching that area, but it was in such an open spot that cops were already down there, and it wasn't seen earlier on. So it's just all a little mysterious.
So you see that? It's all just a little mysterious. That's how they were feeling at the time. That must have been the vibe they were getting off from the law enforcement. And she's talking about it being in such an open space. You know, I really don't want to think the parents did anything nefarious, but now, right. It's getting kind of a little difficult not to see this. And not only that, but the fact that now that they're pitting the families against one another. We got Team Malehya and Team Daniel Martell. I can see this clear, and you guys will understand it because there's another video that has all of this information as well. With Logan and Cheryl, because I've got those recorded. It was like a 30-minute conversation, if I can find it. Oops. Okay, perfect. Hold on.
It did just that. Everyone said, oh, it's just cool.
Sorry, I had to hear something. Okay, so we're hearing this, and now they're talking about the mysteriousness of this piece of blanket, open area. Law enforcement's already down there. How mysterious it is that they would miss this article, you know, in their intense search. And if they did truly miss this article, that makes me question the intense search, no?
You know?
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So was search and rescue in that area?
I don't believe on day one right down there right away. So I was there from the get-go of when everything started.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I don't know how it was missed because it was right on like the start of like a logging road or ATV trail.
Don't know how it was missed. It was started on a logging road or ATV trail.
Right by the main Lansdowne Station Road, the dirt road. But yeah.
Okay. All right. And the other half, right, was found in the garbage.
I believe so. I wasn't back at the house for that to know that.
See? The other Cheryl and Logan are back and forth saying, one saying it's on the rail, one saying it's in the garbage, whatever. And here she is saying, look, I don't know about that. I wasn't there. Again, more honesty in this statement. So have you guys heard deception so far? I mean, personally, I haven't.
But that's what I'm hearing. Yeah, that's what Logan said. And yeah, so.
Which is really peculiar, right? Like how, if the blanket was put in the garbage, how did it get out of the garbage and half of it get into a tree, right?
And I mean, quite a ways down the road, like down the paved road from where they lived, up a dirt road, a good at least mile or two. So yeah.
Mile or two.
Wow.
Mile or two. There is no way a blanket that's in their garbage can is going to make it a mile or two. This is telling me one of two things. That blanket was used in the commission of a crime, or this is planted evidence.
Yeah, that's a head scratcher for anybody, right? Kat is asking, how are you and how is Malehya doing?
Things are, well, you know, everything's.
This is what really rubbed me the wrong way. I'm not going to go down her throat again. It was kind of a shocker she said this, but again, I'm not going to scream at her because she's in a precarious spot.
Touch and go. The subject is very touchy for family. Malehya's trying to live somewhat of a normal life. She shouldn't be expected to sit in the house and be miserable.
No, she should be expected to be out looking for her kids. Period. Period. You're right. She's not made to sit in the house. She's a mom of 2 missing children. Any time that she has outside of the house should be designated for looking for her 2 children. Period. Period.
She can have a life too, right? She just, we don't know what happened. I only know.
All I can tell you is Haley, you are a mom. Would you be able to have a life without your son? Especially if you allegedly didn't know where your son was and just poof, one day he's there and one day he's gone. It just doesn't make sense. This behavior is not normal.
From what I was told, I obviously wasn't there when the kids went missing, but she deserves to not be ridiculed as well, right?
Yep.
She wouldn't have gotten that response from me if I was on this show.
So
Yeah.
I'm not sticking up for anybody in this situation. I know as much as everybody else about what had happened with the children, right? So
yeah. I mean, it's a tragedy. And I think that what adds to it is the time that has gone on, right? That just simply adds to the stress. I mean, if the police would figure out.
And I want you to notice, because you're not, it's still a little bit, it's still about a minute to 2 minutes out before she starts making the bombshell revelations of what happened out at that property. What was I about to say? Something that she had just said.
To it is the time that has gone on, right? That just simply adds to.
I forgot what I was going to say. If I think of it, I'll stop it again.
The stress. I mean, if the police would figure out or could figure out what happened, and Lilly and Jack could be found.
Oh yeah, I was saying it's 1 to 2 minutes out where she starts making the bombshell revelations, and I want you guys to hear as soon as she's done making those statements. Now, mind you, this is a live on TikTok, running live. So this is not a recording and cut and paste type of thing. She was on a live panel on TikTok that somebody screen recorded, and we've got this commentary. When she makes the statements about Daniel and his substances, you start hearing her phone going off and dinging, and then she kind of leaves. So that's why I think she's been pressured to change her story, because I believe she was being honest, but being honest puts Malehya in a bad spot.
It would give people a sense of at least everybody would know what happened, right?
Well, yeah, it's to the point where it's 2 months too long. As family, like we're hurting over this. Like it's a lot. And I mean, there's been a lot of things going around that's very much misinformation. Like people are just wild in the Facebook groups. I've stayed quiet.
Thank you, Haley. Thank you.
But I don't agree with that either, because she's admitted that she wasn't there. She doesn't really know anything, and she knows about as much as we do. But how would she know whether people are being overly wild in a Facebook group if she's just as naive as we all are?
I'm in them, but I stay quiet because I have a son at home that I still need to keep life normal for him, right? But people are starting to figure out who I am, how I'm connected. So I figured, I would give my peace of mind and what I know, because people are starting to message and ask. But, I do just want to touch on a subject, though.
Absolutely.
The family altercation that happened in the driveway. I was there for that.
So now she's saying she doesn't know this, she can't answer this because she really wasn't there. She only knows as much as we all know, but she does want to talk about the altercation in the driveway because that was something she was physically present for. So now I'm going to back up. I want you guys to listen. You've already heard her baseline. You've heard how she speaks. And so now that you guys have a baseline for her, and she seems mostly truthful so far, I haven't seen any major deception that I've necessarily heard. Again, I'm not an expert. That's why I really would like the deception detective to listen to this and listen to her statement about, her being dishonest. There's a reason why she would come to the public and said she lied. Nobody would do that. I'm sorry, nobody would. So there's a reason why she's doing that.
But I stay quiet because I have a son at home that I still need to keep life normal for him, right? But people are starting to figure out who I am, how I'm connected. So I figured, I would give my peace of mind and what I know, because people are starting to message and ask. But, I do just want to touch on a subject, though.
Absolutely.
The family altercation that happened in the driveway. I was there for that. So there's a big piece that Logan has left out, and I'm ready to share that because we all know and have not said anything.
So now Logan is there. So even Daniel's cousin Logan was there. They didn't hit on this when Cheryl and them, because they were just arguing about the pink blanket, not necessarily this particular statement. But this is the particular statement that we're learning that Haley may be backtracking on. And I'm saying, wait, not so quickly, folks. Not so quickly. So we're going back again. We're going to listen. I'm going to shut my mouth because I need you guys to hear this without me interrupting you.
People a sense of at least everybody would know what happened, right?
Well, yeah, it's to the point where it's 2 months too long as family. Like, we're hurting over this. Like, it's a lot. And I mean, there's been a lot of things going around that's very much misinformation. Like, people are just watching what I know because people are starting to message and act. Like, I was there for that.
Okay, here it is.
So there's a big piece that Logan has left out, and I'm ready to share that because we all know and have not said anything. But it's a very crucial point that they seem to be skipping over. So this was just before the briefing, if I can remember quite right here. We were all in the house and Dan was in the bathroom. And when I say we, I'm talking about my sister-in-law, her sister, Malehya's mother, my partner. And we were all in the kitchen and we heard like things rustling around in the bathroom. We're like, what the hell? So my stepmom went and knocked on the door and was like, Dan, what's going on? Are you all right? Anyway, my sister-in-law went in and said she needed to use the bathroom. So he came out and he's kind of like hovering.
Haley,
and-
sorry, Haley. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but just because my mind's sort of going crazy with trying to figure out and keep people straight. Who is your sister-in-law?
So Shelly.
I just want to let you know I would have never done that. I would have never done that. I would have made a note of it on a piece of paper, and I would have circled back to have her explain that instead of stopping her dead in the middle of an interview to clarify a person. It's insignificant. Those things can be asked later.
Out and keep people straight. Who is your sister-in-law?
So Shelby, Cheryl said I was her sister-in-law. It's like confusing, but Shelby's with my brother. She's my sister-in-law, and Cheryl is Shelby's sister. So
okay,
yeah.
All right, okay. Just to get it straight as to who we're talking about, so that people in chat sort of know. Anyway, go ahead.
So like he was wrestling some things around in the bathroom. And we went in to kind of investigate after him. And there was drugs. Drugs was involved, and that's what fueled the family altercation in the driveway. And I'll be the one to say that because I got so freaking mad after this was found out, because then I said to him, that's exactly why you're acting the way you are, running around like a madman, acting like you're doing everything and everybody's just sitting back, like relaxing. Like nobody was running around like a chicken with their head cut off because we weren't on drugs. Do you know what I mean? But that's what.
Okay. Does that sound like she's being dishonest? Does that sound like she's being dishonest? That seems pretty straight up to me. So now I have to question why she backtracking that statement. And that, to me, tells me that she's being pressured by the family. She was there for that. Logan was there for that. They both, I don't see, we kept it quiet. We weren't going to say anything, but you know what? This is it. Logan knows. We all know. We have witness. She listed off several different people there, and including because Malehya wasn't there. So they went back and talked to Malehya about what they found, and Malehya acknowledged that he has been on this stuff for 2 years. So now she's backtracking this. I don't know if she can. I don't know if she can. Unfortunately, for her, she's just too believable. She's just too believable. I'm not a deception detective. I usually just gauge people, I don't have any any credentialing for my bullshit detector, okay? It's not patented. It's just me. But I'd like somebody that is educated and kind of patented. I mean, we do have the deception deck. We'll call that a patent, kind of, sort of. I think he would be more suited to explain this to us.
And we went in to kind of investigate after him. And there was drugs. Drugs was involved, and that's what fueled the family altercation in the driveway. And I'll be the one to say that because I got so freaking mad after this was found out, because then I said to him, that's exactly why you're acting the way you are, running around like a madman, acting like you're doing everything and everybody's just sitting back, like relaxing. Like nobody was, but nobody was running around like a chicken with their head cut off because we weren't on drugs. Do you know what I mean? But that's what the altercation was, because I was like, I confronted his family. It was actually me. And I said, what the hell, guys? Like, what's going on here? Like, why is that involved? My sister broke down and she admitted that he's been on it for 2 years.
Okay. Again, now you guys got to hear her entire statement, her mouth, her words, not mine. I'm just a person trying to figure out heads or tails here, and I have clearly defined that there is a team Malehya and a team Daniel, and I don't like that. I don't like that. I can't trust anybody. When we have teams, we can't trust anybody, because the only time I want a team or an army is for the victim. And here we don't have it. We have the family worried about Malehya and the family worried about Daniel. Who in the family is worried about the 2 missing children here, with all the finger pointing back and forth? And why has the family not put together their own search parties if they're so concerned for these children? These are things I don't like seeing in these cases. You guys are well-bodied individuals that can think for yourself, put some damn boots on, and go out and look for your family. Don't leave it to law enforcement. This idea that law enforcement is responsible for everything. You know what? Our government is not. Okay? Our government is for limited purposes. It is our responsibility to get out there and look for our family as well. We don't want to get in investigative areas, so it's always great to coordinate. But this nonsense where the whole entire family, nobody's looking for these children, they're leaving it to law enforcement while everybody's lying through their teeth, is not working for Bullhorn Betty. Where are the children? Malehya Brooks-Murray, where are the children? Daniel Martell, where are the children? Because it's between the two of you. Please don't make me get a passport. I don't want to be sitting in a Canadian jail. I don't know if I should laugh or laugh. I'll go into the laugh. Oh, shit. That was loud. How do you turn that down? Do they have a volume on that? Recording? Is this louder or not? Let me put it back up to the right thing. Let's see. Can you guys hear that? Those things are loud. I got new earphones, if you guys are wondering. My other earphones weren't working that well, so now that I got these new earbuds in, I realize when I start screaming at you guys how deafening my voice can be, and how much these bombs actually sound like bombs in my ear. It's louder, right? I don't know how to turn it down, guys. I turn that part down. Oh, I got a drum. I wonder what this is. Huh. I'm gonna be a rapper soon. I've been doing it wrong. Oh no! Oh shoot! I hit the dodge button. Let's turn the dodge off. I've been doing it wrong. Oh, good gracious! Sorry about that, guys. Here. We're gonna have to listen to something loud. We might as well have it. Busted move. Oh, we clubbing now. Apparently, I like pushing buttons. I like big butts and buttons. I like big buttons, and I cannot lie. Snoop in the house.
Or so. And yeah, so they all got very, very mad when that came about, and they all kind of said, you know what, we already knew that. Well, if you knew that, why the hell is their children in a home with someone?
So it sounds like their family says that yes, that also is true. So now we have Malehya acknowledging it, the family knowing that he's been doing it, and everybody just being hunky-dory that three young children are inside this house. So we've got some problems here with Daniel Martell. We've got problems with Malehya Brooks-Murray, and it makes me wonder, with everything going on and the fact that I know they did not leave that area, they didn't go any further than 20 minutes away from that area in the 24 hours. So they've got to be within 20 minutes of that home. And with all of this planting of boot prints and fabric being in trees, it tells me a lot more is going on here. And this would have to be somebody very close to that home now, wouldn't it? And this blanket was found on May 3rd, shortly before Malehya took off from that area and took off for good and never came back. Logan describes her having to, the RCMP towing her car back to her house because she wouldn't even come back to pick it up. Why would she be so terrified of coming to the area to even get her car? I don't know about you, but I ain't the kind of broad that can live without my vehicle. I may not drive it every day, but I'm damn sure not leaving my vehicle at just somebody's house, some random person's house, even if it's the family, not even coming back for it. It's all strange. This is abnormal behavior. This is behavior that does not make logical sense. So that was the first indication that what they were saying to us was not truthful when Malehya took off, because no mother takes off like that. Can we at least agree on that? I don't know of any mother that has literally ran away from her missing babies and never returned. But they can't go out and search for her children, but, you know, the hell with us for being angry that she has time to go to the beach and sun. What? So you have time to go and have fun, but not to look for your babies. And Haley, please don't start lying for your family. If you've got to start lying for your family, you already know what happened. You're no more than an accomplice. An after the fact accomplice. So please don't lie for your family. Stay true to your niece and nephew because they need you. They need you to fight for them because nobody else is. In the family, we're all out here fighting right beside you, but we need you to pull your head out of your behind because you seem like the most reasonable out of everybody I've heard so far. So these children need you, Haley. They need you a lot. Please do not lie or try to cover up for people that may have harmed them. You know Daniel was doing drugs in that house. You know you were being honest. Don't deceive the public. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, Please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. But before you leave, because I haven't gone over any of these, I missed them all. I'm sorry. I love you guys. Thank you. And it says prayers for all the missing children from Stephanie. Melanie says happy Friday. Delilah, mods, and chat. All of you guys are the best. Much love to you, Betty. Thank you, Melanie. It's always nice. And I got to tell you, I got to tell you this. You're going to love this. You're going to absolutely love this. So I gave Delilah the toys you gave me, right? Well, she has these little flat toys. I got to tell you, that blue snake, she absolutely loves. It was so funny because I had it out in the living room because it's, a little bit larger than for the bed. I usually keep the little tinier animal, play toys in the bed because they're smaller. And so this snake is, it's longer than Delilah's body. Okay. It's longer than Delilah's body. And wouldn't you know, she was so hell-bent on playing with this snake, she dragged that snake from the living room into the bedroom, up the stairs, and threw it at mommy so I'd play with her. She absolutely loves the snake. Absolutely loves the snake. And the other one she likes too, but the snake was the cutest one because that's the one she brought into the room. Read the chat. I read the chat. I need to say thanks for ghosting me, Outer Banks, because you tell me to read the chat. I read the chat. I didn't know what you were talking about. I kept asking you, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm like, you don't have to pay. Just I'm paying attention to the chat. Just tell me what you're talking about. Oh yeah, dog hit something. I saw that. You didn't have to do that. I was just waiting for it to come back. Oh, justice for Sebastian. Thank you, Cinda. Thank you. And Lady for Justice. Thank you so much. And while we're here, even though we didn't meet the goal, we might as well give you guys a little something. Before we get into the mullet, we're gonna play the a-hole one first, and then we'll get into the mullet.
Andrea, aka Bullhorn Betty here. Look what I found. It looks like a lot of people on YouTube. Right here. This is a real ass right here. Like many people on YouTube. All you need to do is show an asshole a little love. Right? Tell him. What you need to do? Huh? What you need to do? Oh, too many assholes on YouTube. Say it. Say it with me, baby. Say there's just too many people on YouTube that look like you, huh? So the next time you want to be an ass, maybe you should come out here and hang out with the ass. Just saying. You want to be a jackass? There's your brother. Peace out. Bullhorn Betty style.
If you shave your cooch, but not your booty hole, is that the same as a mullet?
My tongue out her ass and left. I'm on TV! Oh shit! First cops, now this? Oh.
Wonderful Friday evening. We'll see you sometime tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a busy day for me, so I'm going to try to check in. It's most likely going to be very early, like 7:30, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'm not sure what our conversation is going to be about. Then the afternoon, I don't know what my afternoon is going to look like. Tomorrow is going to be the busiest of the days. So I may be scarce tomorrow, but I'll keep you guys posted as soon as I get my schedule together and let you know at least around a time frame when I might be able to go live so you guys could be on the lookout. Thank you guys for being here with me this evening to learn a little more about the Lilly and Jack case. I am still perplexed about this case. I still believe Malehya and Daniel hold the answers. It just makes sense. Behavior is off. Stories are off. They're pointing the finger at one another. The family has separated into two camps, Team Malehya, Team Daniel Martell. Nobody's really advocating for the children. So that's where we step in, and we're going to continue to advocate for Lilly and Jack. And if anybody has any information, please reach out to law enforcement. There is also one other disclaimer that I would like. We have been having zero to little movement on the Sebastian Rogers case in law enforcement. I don't believe it's because of lack of information. I think it's lack of funding and lack of other things that are keeping this case from proceeding forward the way it needs to proceed forward. I do not trust Sumner County. If anybody has provided Sumner County or TBI a lead in this case, and you have not spoken directly with the FBI, I'm going to start asking you to start turning all of those leads over to the FBI, even if you guys turned those tips in over a year ago. I want that stuff to start going to the FBI because we don't trust. Nothing has happened. We have a lot of information. It looks pretty crystal clear to us, and it seems like something isn't up to snuff when it comes to the case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. So in an effort to make sure that at least the trusted entity of the FBI has all the leads, again, do not trust TBI or Sumner County. We need to get all of those leads recalled and resent to the FBI. We are making a push that Sumner County leave this case. And we all know that it's only going to be a matter of time before it's going to be forced upon them at some, maybe not forced upon them, but litigation is going to ensue at some point. I can already foresee it because they're sitting on their hands. They're not doing anything. And if we're going to move it to the FBI, they might as well have all the leads anyways. So if you haven't spoken to the FBI about the Sebastian Rogers case, you turned over videos or any type of evidence or information to TBI or Sumner County, you need to let the FBI know. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. God bless. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you, God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.